Belligerent, militant, anti-PvP members of the Star Citizen community seized an opportunity to attack PvP gameplay in Star Citizen when this screenshot was posted on Reddit. This resulted in the leader of Chaos Squad, Capt Dirty, getting a warning for excessive griefing from CIG. These people manipulated CIG's customer service and used the Carrack Med Bay event as a weapon against PvP gameplay in Star Citizen by trying to paint the event in a bad light and convince CIG that this PvP event makes the game look bad in the eyes of the wider public. The reason why I believe it's anti-PvP members of the community is because there is obvious proof of two parties fighting each other, even as unfair and uneven as the fight was. Both parties engaged each other as frequently as they could within their capabilities, regardless of how limited they were. And CIG has made a point of declaring their support for PvP gameplay inside of their game. As you should know from my previous video in this investigation where Dradmar speaks with both myself and Capt Dirty, we established that he was fine with what happened, he was engaged in the gameplay, and that he didn't report this incident to CIG, which led me to looking for new leads by contacting backers who may have potentially reported the Reddit post and the video of the event to CIG. A day after doing so, the backer that I contacted from Reddit responded and said that they had reported the post to CIG's customer service, and when I asked for proof, they provided a screenshot of the stub for the ticket that they had sent to CIG. I'd also contacted a backer on Spectrum, but I still haven't heard from them. Over the course of 3 days, a backer from Reddit and I spoke about the event. They were polite and forthcoming in answering my questions. I tried my best to remain objective with my questioning and not let my bias get through, which was a lot harder to do as I read more of their responses. This backer saw the screenshot on Reddit and began reading through the post for the responses from the OP to explain the context of what the screenshot signified. They claimed, based on the inconsistencies of the OP's replies and the screenshot itself, that the owner of the Carrack was not having fun and that this was a clear-cut case of targeted griefing, and they took it upon themselves to report the Reddit post to CIG's customer service with the goal of bringing this incident to CIG's attention to investigate it. They claimed they were not aware of the video footage of the incident between Capt Dirty and Dradmar at the time, so when they reported the Reddit post, they supplied CIG with the Reddit post URL and the name of the OP in their ticket to CIG, but no information on Capt Dirty. They told me that they had acted alone and normally only make reports when it's something that they have witnessed firsthand, and they claimed this was the first time they had reported something as a third party. This backer stated that their intent for reporting the Reddit post is because they care about Star Citizen. They like playing the game, and when they saw this Reddit post, they interpreted it as someone bragging about griefing a player. They claim to have been griefed before, back when Port Olisar was a default spawn. You know, the usual story, their ships kept getting destroyed every time they spawned them, and every time they left the station they got gunned down. They didn't like that experience, and the post made them feel empathetic towards Dradmar. Now, it's clear that this backer has a bias towards how open world PvP should work. This can be seen where they state that they're not okay with randomly attacking other players without purpose or communication, and they don't believe that the player being spawned camped bears any responsibility, even when they've respawned in excess of 60 plus times. Also, I don't agree with their mindset with how they think PvP gameplay should work in Star Citizen. I do appreciate their honesty and being forthcoming with their answers. They didn't have to respond or answer any of my questions. I can also understand and appreciate their desire to make Star Citizen a better game, as it's the same motivation that I have investigating this warning. That all said, I strongly disagree with their assessment, and whilst it's easy to think that they're not at fault for reporting something that they thought was wrong, the fact of the matter is that they didn't know enough about the situation to be making such a report in the first place. And they admit, had they known that Dradmar was okay with what was happening, they wouldn't have reported the Reddit post as evidence of a player being griefed. Based on my experience being a player pirate in Star Citizen for years now, and what CIG has told us about how they prefer players to handle PvP encounters, the footage in Capt Dirty's video informs me that both players were working well within CIG's intent of finding in-game solutions to in-game problems. Dradmar chose to fight for his ship, all in the pursuit of having a fun and engaging experience. He knows he could have left at any time, but he chose to stay. He chose to engage in the gameplay, and Capt Dirty and his crew chose to do the same. He was not a victim of griefing. This was a classic example of two consenting groups of players engaging in PvP gameplay, and whilst it's not communicated verbally or by text, the actions of both parties demonstrate the desire to continue their chosen course of action. Unfortunately, the backer from Reddit didn't see it that way because they didn't seek out all the facts. But that didn't stop them from firing off their ticket to CIG. And whilst they don't know if more people reported the Reddit post, it's quite clear that there was enough attention generated to get CIG to take notice and act. However, CIG's actions are confusing. First, customer service emailed Capt Dirty and only Capt Dirty, even though there were two other players also spawn camping Dradmar. Secondly, CIG never tells Capt Dirty which actions that he was taking that constituted excessive griefing. Capt Dirty had to reach out and ask if it was about the Carrick Medbay event, which they confirmed, but they still didn't say it was for spawn camping. That is an assumption that everyone, including me, has made. So if Capt Dirty was the only person there worthy of a warning, and it potentially was not for spawn camping, and the video footage demonstrates two players engaging in PvP, then what did he get the warning for? Unfortunately, you're gonna have to wait until the next video to find out what happens as we go deeper in this direction. In the meantime, check out this video to hear Dradmar's side of the story.